All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome into today's edition of In the Game. I am your host, Hustle, and as always, we're going to be diving into the crypto and the crypto gaming markets today. Is we're seeing quite a bit of a pullback over the last 24 hours. I mean, some of these top altcoins like Avalanche down 15% now over the 7-day time period. Ape down 14%. You have some things on our watch list like 𝗕𝗿𝗄𝗃 starting to pull back a little bit, but it's definitely holding strong. 𝗕𝗿𝗄𝗃 has been a great performer in this market, but we're going to go over some tokens that I actually see a lot of opportunity on this pullback, and we'll go over why is this pullback occurring. I think it's very news-based. It's very obvious why we're seeing this pullback, but we'll go over some tokens that I see some big opportunities with some big narratives behind them. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Like the video if you enjoy the content here on In the Game and on Crypto Banter. Subscribe to the channel for shows here every single day, as well as shout out to our sponsors here on In the Game. Animoca Brands, the biggest Web3 gaming company in the world. 𝗕𝗿𝗄𝗃 onboarding the most games into the space, really in all of Web3. Bybit, one of the leading exchanges in all of crypto for both accumulation and for trading. And NordVPN, always protect yourself when you are navigating the crypto space online. Use a VPN always. So link in the description down below for all of our top tier sponsors. Let's dive into the markets, guys, because we're seeing a big drop in the market. Why are we seeing this drop in the market? Coinbase CEO raising some concerns, FUD, some people would call, but I think, he's obviously not going to FUD the industry. He's one of the, I think over time we've actually seen he's one of the more advocates for the space when it comes to like crypto CEOs, etc. But Brian Armstrong expresses concern over rumors of SEC ban on crypto staking for retail customers. Now, this is causing a pretty cascading effect on the market and a pretty big pullback from where we were. We had a lot of bullish momentum, and now today, we're back at like 21.5, 21.7 levels with Bitcoin. But right now, I think we're seeing a lot of opportunity because inflation, at the least, it's not great, but it is slowing. And I think that they're going to keep slowing inflation, or at least capping inflation. So I really do see that bullish momentum in the markets actually continuing. I did speak with a couple of people as well, some big brains in the space that I consider, and they're still, for the next 45 to 60 days, this news will probably end up shaking out. And I even think that they wouldn't be able to ban crypto staking across the country. So I don't really see that happening in the broad landscape here, and being in the United States, and kind of just some of the things that I'm hearing from some legal people, etc. I don't see this actually playing out. I do see this as potential FUD, and I do see some upward momentum in the short term. And I think some of these opportunities are going to be really presenting themselves right now. So let's go ahead and take a look. Some blockchains that I'm looking at. Obviously, Ethereum, anytime Ethereum's like 1,500 or less, it just goes into my long-term bag. I'm looking to always stack Ethereum. I'm always, DCA into Bitcoin. Those are like your holy grail of your portfolio. And then you have your altcoin bag, right? So like at 1,500 or lower over the time period of 2-3 years, you're going to be absolutely sitting nicely with your Ethereum position. So if you have a longer term scope, I think these prices are fantastic. But right now, even in the short term, probably for the next 60 days, you probably do have also some accumulation potential here to be able to get some gains during that time period. Polygon's actually holding very strong, rightfully so, with all of their partnerships, all of the games they're on, all of the partnerships, all of the games they're onboarding, all the businesses they're onboarding, Reddit NFTs. They're doing Starbucks. They powered DraftKings this year. They are powering Robinhood. It's actually crazy how many real world businesses that Polygon is just involved in and have their hands in. And every single leg up for Polygon has been just a new level, and they are cement at that level. They passed that $1.20 range. And during this time period where most of these altcoins are down 15%, Polygon is holding strong. I think that means whenever we do see that next uptrend and this next upside, even if it takes a few days, if it takes a week, you're going to see Polygon once again climbing and climbing. The quality products that build the most in the bear market are going to be the most aggressive gainers in the bull market. And everything that Polygon has done has shown nothing but top tier potential during these time periods. Avalanche with the Amazon partnership, as well as the things they're doing with games, bringing on Shrapnel, bringing on so many top tier titles and developers, big mobile studios, bringing games to over, I think one of the studios has a 1.5 million players active. So 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 is doing a lot, bringing top tier games to the space, empowering them with their own subnets as well. And then I actually see a lot of potential in Solana. Solana is very volatile. And I think that Solana, if it continues to dip, it's going to have just as aggressive gains whenever it goes back up. And Solana, as volatile as it has been, the NFT market's still there. The community's still there. There are still game developers there. There's still game CEOs there. I know multiple games that are just like, Johnny, I'm still building on Solana. Everything about the chain's perfectly fine. And I actually personally went on Solana's chain for the first time in a while the other day and made a couple transactions, moving some NFT stuff around. And I was like, wow, the network definitely is super fast and it's very efficient. So I understand why some developers are sticking with it. And they're just like, look, even though the FTX and SBF FUD is so tightly knit with the Solana community, it feels like, I think that there's a lot of aggressive upside potential here with Solana. And, despite the volatility, there's probably so much potential there in the long term. Anything, I would say even lower than this, though. My target for accumulation on Solana would be lower than this, maybe $16 to $18 if we were to continue to see altcoins take a dip. Because, like I said, Solana is a pretty aggressive mover with the markets at these moments in time. Let's just say $18. $18 would really be some value levels, in my opinion, on Solana. But let's talk about the big narratives. Let's not talk about the blockchains. Let's not talk about the top 50s. Let's talk about the big narratives playing out right in front of our eyes right now, where the adoption is. And one of the places the adoption is obviously crypto gaming. We've seen 7.1. We haven't seen the Q4 numbers come out yet because there was $7 billion raised in the first 3 quarters of 2022. So with $7 billion going into the marketplace here to build these games, give it 6, 12, 18, 24 months, and that product that comes out of that $7 billion is actually going to be eye-popping and impressive, and people are going to want to hop into that product. People are going to understand ownership of in-game collectibles and games and the skins that they're actually participating in, owning and competing for and putting your time into. It really sucks whenever gamers have to say, well, I got to put away the controller because I got a full-time job, I can't play as much anymore, this or that, and you can't play a game anymore. You would really like to be able to monetize the time that you put into it, right? If you spent, let's just say, in Call of Duty, it's very common to spend days and days and days and days of playtime, earn skins, earn camos, boom. But then you can't do anything with them. Activision just sucks the money out of you for the battle passes and the skins that you earn yourself, and you don't actually own those. But NFT technology empowers that. So there's so much empowerment, even for the studios. They can get more touch points on their transactions. So this is why crypto gaming and Web3 gaming, when you just simplify it to someone that's actually a gamer, if they don't understand NFTs and Web3, this is the best way to actually understand the power of digital ownership inside of games. And with Amazon coming in, Steam's shifting their space. I talked to Jason from Gala Games this morning on our crypto banter space. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. Definitely catch the next one next week. But he's just, he's seeing, they onboarded a mobile studio with tons and tons of users. They're seeing so many big companies like Steam shift superiors going on to Steam. So the biggest companies and the biggest studios in the world are looking at crypto gaming as the one avenue into the space. And, given that, I do see Gala's taking a pretty good dip here. So if Gala continues to hit that lower 4-cent range, I think Gala's at a very, very value level for the long term and in the short term. Games like Superior, Mirandus, Echoes of Empire, Champions Arena, Grit, which is on the Epic Games Store, Walking Dead Empires, a remake of Battlestar Galactica, an absolute classic, Last Expedition, which is made by ex-Halo devs. There's so many things coming to the platform, let alone their film and music platforms, which their music platforms live at this moment in time with active trading and people, utilizing their nodes. I have a Gala music node as well, actually. And you can take a look at the Walking Dead Empires. It's more like a mobile interface. I played it and it was really, really solid. So this is one of their big IP games. anything with The Walking Dead is going to have users. This is going to be one of their bigger products once this does go live, as well as Superior. Like Superior looks very, very solid. The movement mechanisms, the way the gameplay plays out. Gala Games is bringing nothing but quality to their blockchain. And as they said in their pitch deck, 150 plus games coming to their platform. So lots coming out of Gala Games. Vulcan Forge at $3.80 now. I think, anything lower than this, you're looking at a lot of good long-term accumulation levels. With this dip, it's taken from 440 all the way down to 380 at $100 million market cap. There's a ton of upside for what 𝗕𝗵𝗵𝗫 and the guys over at Vulcan Forge are building. The Vulcan 3 in New York is coming up. There's going to be some huge announcements at Vulcan 3 regarding everything that they're building. Games coming to the chain like the 𝗕𝗆𝗄𝗏, like Vendetta DAO, there's a lot of different games building on the Elysium blockchain. And you can actually read a Medium post here about all the benefits of bringing your game to the Elysium blockchain. Fast, scalable, low gas. You can use multiple tokens. There's so many things that they're presenting to the industry in general. So Vulcan Forge at around 350. If we continue to see this dip play out through the weekend, because the stocks did not look good this week. The stocks market did not look good this week. If we continue to see a drawdown in the market, I really do see at 350 potentially that's going to be a massive long-term accumulation level for me if we're taking a look at Vulcan Forge. I agree on Gala. And then Dan, IMX and Gala are kind of in different lanes though, because Gala is making their own games and IMX is more of a blockchain. I wouldn't really categorize them as competitors. I would more categorize them as they're definitely in different niches, because IMX is just trying to use their technology to bring more games on, in my opinion. And I love both platforms. I would say they're literally between 1 and 2 in the industry when it comes to companies. Gala Games and 𝗕𝗵𝗵𝗫, probably the top 2 pure blown companies building in Web3 gaming. And I'm going to exclude Animoca because they're more of a VC. SuperVerse, I'm really bullish on, and especially if it continues. 12 cents, I think, and the market cap more so. And we're not think about market caps whenever you're looking at these things, because that's going to indicate the most growth potential and the most value, and actually, the upside or the downside potential. I think if this gets down to like a $45 million market cap, I'm definitely going to be looking at SuperVerse as an accumulation as well, with imposters and 𝗕𝗵𝗵, as they say, supporting creators, innovative infrastructure, next-gen notifications. I've really enjoyed using 𝗕𝗵𝗵. I'm really looking at, SuperVerse if it does continue to dip, as well as Seedify. Seedify has always presented the best launchpad product in the space, bringing top products like Citus Heroes, Mobland, all the top token sales of last bull run to their platform for their stakers. And if the market continues the uptrend, and I think just long-term in general, Seedify is going to be one of those positions that explodes in the next bull run because of the amount of people staking the token, the amount of people flocking to try to get those early access and those early pre-sales. I think it's a no-brainer. And then right now they're actually building their own metaverse. And whenever you take a look, you can take a look at this article too regarding the Mounts NFTs and the seed world and pre-metaverse utilities of the Seedify mounts. So there's a lot that Seedify actually is branching out and building on the side with the SNFTs platform. And they just announced that they're going to be bringing not only crypto gaming projects, but AI projects to the platform as well. Very, very bullish on Seedify. And it's definitely one of my top that I'm looking to accumulate during this dip. And then for the long term, really over the next 18 months, I think Seedify is going to play out very, very nicely. Narrative number two that I am looking to exploit and get in front of. And I think the most quality product is what we'll talk about next in this industry. But as we're seeing, McKinsey thinks that this metaverse industry will be a $5 trillion in value by the year 2030. And then we also see Saudi Arabia and the Sandbox agreeing to collaborate on metaverse projects. Right now, metaverse is in, and metaverse narrative is exploding. We saw Apple coming in with their VR. We already saw Meta rebrand their entire company from Facebook to Meta. So the metaverse race is definitely heating up. But in the Web3 space, what's the best looking metaverse And in my opinion, I think the best looking metaverse all around is without a doubt 𝗬𝗐𝗐. And if 𝗬𝗐𝗐 goes under 40 cents, I think there's a lot of value there, especially given the market cap at $40 million. At $40 million. And then when it comes to Web3 perspectives, this is one of the best looking actual products that they've shown countless gameplay with their racing game, their open world, their climbing, everything you can do inside of Wiami. It's a reiteration of Miami. There's so, like, look how quality this looks. Like, this looks maybe how Cyberpunk was, or yeah, right. Isn't that what it's called? Cyberpunk 70 or whatever it was, the big flop game. But this is like better than that. This is a Web3 product, guys. One of the best looking products in the space. And I'm really bullish on Wild in the long term to run during any metaverse narrative. And I think the metaverse is going to continue to heat up only. I think we're just at the surface level when it comes to the metaverse. So let's go ahead and talk about some tokens that you guys are looking at. I'm also looking at stuff. If Immutable dips a little more, because it's ran just so much. Now over the 7 days, it's cooled off. If we take a look at Immutable's chart, definitely one of the biggest winners out of the bunch when it comes to this last rally. Down here around 50 cents, and it got all the way up above $1, above $1.10 there. So it has pulled back a good amount, but it's ran a little bit for my liking. I would definitely like to see a little more of a pullback. IMX and Immutable and Illuvium have performed very well. I'm also looking at Ultra. I think that if Veracity continues to dip, it will have an aggressive uptrend, still up 35% over the 7 days. So I'm waiting a bit there. And then if you are looking at an AI play that I think still has a lot more in the tank, because the narrative has been so closely knit with Singularity Net, so closely knit with Ocean Protocol, so closely knit with Fetch AI. I think the one undervalued play still, and it's up. I said this on my AI video when I said a couple of underrated AI tokens. But if you look at the 1 month, yeah, I think I called it like a couple weeks ago at the end of January, and it's pretty much exploded since then, but it has taken quite a bit of dip, a 33% dip here. I still think that Covalent here has a little bit to go in the tank in the AI narrative. If you want a smaller cap AI play that I think could play out very nicely, if we see that uptrend still, which I still do believe in. I think what we've seen in the markets, guys, is completely news-based. It's completely, you can call it FUD, but I actually do think this is real. This is definitely real news. For the most part, Brian Armstrong has actually been a very big supporter, even though a lot of the big corporate guys typically haven't been. He's technically, I would say, one of the better supporters of the space when it comes to the main CEOs behind some of these big exchanges and these big corporations, these public companies, basically, in the crypto space, in the Web3 and the decentralized space, that are actually centralized players. So I think this is real. I think this news is the only reason we are seeing this play out. And the stock market, it's taken a regression because of the momentum in the market. I still think over the next 45 to 60 days, with some of the announcements, some of the meetings, some of the things we'll hear about the inflation, there's still a lot of opportunity. Healthy corrections, in my opinion. I absolutely agree. Nakamoto Games, Alex, good product. I need to do a little more of a deep dive before I dive in, so I can look at some of the games that they're actually bringing to the platform. But I can definitely tell that their community sentiment is high. I think out of these, Gala Games has the most potential. Yeah, Gala Games is one of the best companies in the entire Web3 space. I think that, in the handful of the bunch, with the amount of games that they're bringing with Grit, with Battlestar Galactica's remake, with the Walking Dead game, with Legacy, which is like a business Sims style simulator, which looks really dope in my opinion, just like as an entrepreneur, for example. There's just so many cool games. Last Expedition, built by ex-Halo devs. There's really cool platforms. What's going on with Sol? So more games are adopting to Phantasma, but right now I think that Phantasma, they just need a little more social momentum. They need a little push, and they need some games to actually come out, and a good game needs to come out on the chain, right? A game that is coming, and sweeping and getting people to come play on their platform. That's what needs to happen. Never enough from PYR. Yeah, so PYR, they're continuing to build, and I don't think it's a PYR problem. I think it's just a market problem at the moment. once we see that next up, I mean, like it was aggressive up to 440. And I think that we'll continue to see that. We just, in a downtrend, we're not going to see any crypto gaming project doing anything. Sandbox looks like Roblox. Yeah, I'm not bullish on Sandbox. I'm super bullish on Wilder World. I think that Wilder World actually looks like the best metaverse in the space. I think Decentraland's the worst experience that I've ever encountered in a Web3 metaverse. I think that Sandbox is just a Minecraft Roblox throw together. And I also think that Wilder World is the best looking product when it comes to metaverse. Crimson, the way I understand it is just people that worked on Halo games. Yeah, they're from Bungie and they worked on Halo. It's like both. Yeah, that's what I was told. I spoke with Jason on the Spaces today. Last thing before we go, fantastic. I love the chat. I love the questions. So keep the questions rolling. Yes, Sandbox has more partnerships than daily active players. Mic drop. Mic drop. What about Network? Network looks good. They had some really bad things going on within their team, however, and I would like to see more from them now after seeing some things come out of their camp. They were like doxing each other's locations. The founders got in a spat. Things, yeah, it was not looking good for a while. So I want to see more. That's not FUD. That's real. But I want to see more. Nothing wrong with the product. The product looks good. Synverse. Yeah, Synverse looks cool. It's like the Grand Theft Auto. It looks like Grand Theft Auto. It's definitely improved. Those first trailers last year during the bull market were rough, or like a year and a half ago during the bull market, they were rough. But I think that Synverse looks pretty good. What's going on with Blocktopia? Not really in the competitive race, in my opinion, when it comes to Metaverse. I'm not very bullish on Block anymore. My view on Aptos, I would only get in if it dips quite a bit. I mean, Aptos definitely had its narrative. It definitely had its run. Now, if we see other L1 chains like, Avalanche, like ETH, Avalanche, BNB, Polygon, those like really taking off, if there was a big narrative again, then I think Aptos would absolutely run again, however. Rose, a lot of potential. All right, guys, like the video if you enjoyed the show. I am going to hop out of here. I hope you guys have an awesome Friday. Like the video if you enjoy the content here on In the Game and on Crypto Banter here every single week. And I will be back on Monday with another show. And always be on the lookout on my Twitter, 0xHustlepedia. We did an awesome space today with Brian D. Evans. We did it with Spike, another big Web3 gaming content creator, Jason from Gala Games. We had Dr. JPEG, the founder of NF Arcade. We had an awesome space, chatted Web3 games. We took audience questions as well. Fantastic audience, awesome conversation. Would love to see you guys over there every Friday. Usually it's going to be at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have more CEOs, founders, VCs, investors, content creators, and more on the space joining me on Web3 Gaming Roundtable discussions. So follow me on Twitter. It's down below in the description also, so it makes it easy, 0xHustlepedia. And I will see you guys on Monday. As always, play well, my friends.